Hello, these are the solutions for your extra exponent review. So I'm sorry I'm not in today, so hopefully these videos help with the explanation. Starting with number 1, we have a negative exponent. Those are not allowed anymore. So it's tricky when there's no fraction because it's like, what side is the fraction bar on? So if it's not a fraction, make it one by putting it over 1. Now we can see that x to the negative fifth is really in the numerator, so we need to move it to the denominator in order for it to become positive. So we move it to the denominator, it becomes x to the positive fifth power. Now since everything left the numerator, we do need a 1 as a placeholder. But that's it. Number 2, we've got a negative exponent, so I'm going to circle it and draw an arrow to where it wants to go, the other side of the fraction bar. So I'm going to rewrite it as I see it, and now it's x to the positive third in the denominator. The only thing left to do is to reduce the fraction. 12 over 8 will reduce to 3 over 2. Divide them both by 4. And that's it. Number 3, p to the negative 29th is unhappy in the denominator, so we want to move it to the numerator where it becomes p to the positive 29th. Since everything left the denominator, we put it over 1, but anything divided by 1 is just itself, so it's p to the 29th. Number 4, m to the negative third wants to leave. It wants to move to the denominator, so we're going to rewrite it down there as m to the positive third. Once again, when something leaves the numerator and nothing's there, we need a 1 as a placeholder. The only thing left to do for this problem is to use our multiplication rule, which says add our exponents. 14 plus 3 gives us m to the 17th. With number 5, everything is unhappy with the side of the fraction bar it's on, so they're going to switch places and then become their positive exponents. So w to the negative 8th goes to the denominator and becomes positive 8 power. W to the negative 11 bumps up to the numerator and becomes w to the positive 11. We see w twice, so we need to use our division rule, which says subtract our exponents. 11 minus 8 is 3. Number 6, we got 2 items that want to move to the other side. Let's rewrite it. Keep what's positive. So the h to the 12th and the d to the 6th are staying where they are because they are positive exponents. But the d to the negative second is bumping down and becoming d to the positive second. H to the negative fifth is bumping up and becoming h to the positive fifth. Now we just have a multiplication rule in the numerator and a multiplication rule in the denominator, which says add our exponents. 12 plus 5 is 17, and 6 plus 2 is 8. There we go. All right, let's look at the next slide. All right, we've got an x to the negative third power. We got to move it. So we write it as x to the positive third. We've got 2 things to do. 1, reduce the fraction. 27 over 36, they are both divisible by 9. So 27 divided by 9 is 3. 36 divided by 9 is 4. The other thing we need to do is our multiplication rule, which says add our exponents. 9 plus 3 is 12. There's our final answer. So again, the 3 has to be in the numerator, 4 in the denominator. Number 8, it's always easiest when we simplify what's inside the parentheses first. So I know I need to use my division rule with x to the 2 over x to the 6. Now 2 minus 6 gives me negative 4. So I'm going to put a 1 in the denominator because everything left. But because I have that negative exponent, it's going to move back down to the denominator and become 4 over x to the positive 4th power. Now we're taking all this to the negative second. So the trick I taught you guys in class was we can take care of that negative power on the outside just by flipping what's inside. So it now becomes positive 2 on the outside, but x to the 4th goes in the numerator and 4 goes in the denominator. Now we just flipped what was inside and that took care of the negative. The only step left to do is take the numerator and the denominator to the power. Power to a power rule says multiply my exponents, so I get x to the 8th. 4 times 2 is 8. And then 4 is a regular number, so just take 4 to the 2nd power and get 16. There we go. Our final problem. We've got a negative exponent in the denominator, so we're going to move it to the numerator. Alright, and then write down everything that's not moving. And now we'll move the x to the negative 5th. It goes to the numerator and becomes x to the positive 5th power. So at first I can reduce the fraction. So 3 over 12 reduces to 1 over 4. Then I have my multiplication rule. X to the 9th times x to the 5th means I add my exponents. 9 plus 5 is 14. Just like the problem before it, I'm going to erase that one because I don't need it. But because there's a negative 3 on the outside, I can take care of only the negative part by flipping everything inside. So 4 is going to go in the numerator, and x to the 14th goes to the denominator. I flip my inside fraction, and now I've got a positive 3 power on the outside. Again, just like number 9. We have all positive exponents. Everything's reduced on the inside, so we're going to take the numerator and the denominator to the third power. 4 to the third power is 64, and power to a power rule, multiply our exponents. 14 times 3 is 42. And then we're done. That concludes the video. Please feel free to email me if you have any other questions.